And for many years, we've heard murmurings and rumblings within our own communities about the way it's done, the difficulty that pedestrians have in moving through Kingstown, the difficulty of traffic on certain days. And it has always been seen as a task, a serious task of bringing some order to this very important entrepreneurial activity. Well, it has begun. And this morning we are here to initiate the first phase of this with the opening of this market. And I hope that those individuals, those stakeholders who would benefit from this project are both thankful and grateful. And we would see them taking care of this facility moving forward. To welcome you this morning to this activity, I'm going to invite to the podium Mrs. Shari Roberts-Duggan, who is the project officer here in this program. Good morning.
Good morning, all. Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, Prime Minister, members of Cabinet and Parliament, Mrs. Yvette Pompey, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Urban Development, Energy, Airports, Seaports, Grenadines Affairs and Local Government, Chairperson for Kingstown Town Board, Permanent Secretaries and other public servants, Mr. Colin John, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clayton Bergin, Warden of Kingstown Board, Mr. John Graves, Contractor, Market Vendors, other invited guests, Pastor Shane Franklin, media, good morning. And it is a great pleasure to bring you the opening remarks at the grand opening ceremony of the new vegetable markets. I must say, in everything that we do or pursue, whether it is done individually, collectively, or even as a project like the one today, we must indeed give thanks to Almighty God, for it is through Him and with Him all things are possible. Today, the 17th of November 2022, is indeed a great and memorable day filled with much joy, completeness, and excitement for the opening of these vegetable markets. The Kingstown Cleanup Project is one which was carefully crafted and conceptualized to relocate vendors. And this will be done in different phases so that the service they provide, which is through the sale of their produce and vegetables, can continue and will be beneficial to all. Keeping this in mind and the vendors at the forefront of our minds, 3 places were identified for refurbishment and relocation. They were the old meat market, the old vegetable market, and the former customs building right here. 2 of the buildings will be opened today, whilst the 3rd building will be opened at a later date. And the renovation works included repairs to the stalls, roofs of the buildings, electrical and plumbing works. So like the old saying says, it was indeed a long time coming, but today marks another step in history towards further development for our capital, Kingstown. And all of us present here or listening via the different platforms can attest to this. This phase of cleaning up Kingstown through the relocation of the vendors took many deliberations, but it was a task that we had to do and it must be done. And as the scripture tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 4, let all that you do be done in love. So this step today provides a more comfortable space for vendors from the elements of the weather to continue with their trade and to provide a great service for all. So with all this being said, I do bid you a very warm welcome to this our grand opening ceremony. And may we be reminded that we are all Vincentians working together for a greater St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Shari Roberts-Duggan. Recently, the Kingstown Board appointed a new warden, and this individual is the one driving this entire initiative, and I must say that recently he came under some serious blows as this first step was taken to relocate a number of the vendors. And I want us to get to start using or get accustomed to using the word relocating as opposed to moving, in that they're not being rushed off or driven from making a dollar, but they're being moved from where they are and put to a place that is more comfortable and offers more convenience for them. But recently, as warden of the Kingston Board, he came under some serious blows. But I knew he could handle himself, and he has been doing a fantastic job in going to the media and explaining to us exactly what the Kingston Board is doing as part of this Kingston cleanup campaign. To address you this morning, I'm going to invite former parliamentarian, area representative, and Minister of Government, now Warden of the Kingston Board, Mr. Clayton Boggin.
Thank you very much, Chairman, Cian Marshall, Dr. the Honorable Ralphie Gonsalves, Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Yvette Pompey of the Ministry of Urban Development, other Permanent Secretaries, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Colin John, Mr. John Graves, market vendors, other invited guests, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me begin by giving the geography on the Tongue Board and the geographical position of Tongue Board, where it extends, and a little historical fact. Now, many of you may not know that the boundary of the Kingston Board is not only Kingston proper. It extends to Edinburgh, encompassing Montrose, Gibson Corner, Liberty Lodge, Kingston Park, Morris Village, Richmond Hill, Roseau, Sion Hill Bay, and Cane Garden Point. The Kingston Board will celebrate its 125th anniversary on Friday, November the 18th, 2022, which is tomorrow. And this activity of housing vendors in sheltered facilities is one of the activities planned to commemorate the occasion. The opening of these markets demonstrates the government's commitment to enabling the dignity and worth of our people with vendors at the forefront. After 125 years, we cannot expose our vendors to the elements such as rain and sun. When nature calls, we can't have our vendors running here, there, and everywhere. We cannot have our vendors racing against a sudden downpour to scramble up their produce before it is washed away, because we care about your well-being and livelihood. There are those who, from their lofty air-conditioned offices and homes, pretend to care about your well-being, but they do not. You know why? They don't care? Because they're all over the media saying to leave you in the sun. It's what you are used to. And some of you succumb to their callous and selfish demands. Proverbs 15:18 said, "A hot-tempered man stores up strife, but he who is slow to anger quiets contention." Proverbs 29:11 further stated, "A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back." Some of you are being duped by the likes of those phony concerned citizens. In his address to you, the Honorable Prime Minister would, among other things, inform you about the facilities. I have come here to talk to you about what is important to you from a humanistic and concerned standpoint. We both know that exposing your vegetables and provisions to the beating sun, rain, and sun again will cause them to spoil faster. And they may become quail and burnt, which is exactly what those who call caring citizens want for you and your goods, or for your goods to be spoiled, be thrown away, and the money you spend to purchase them to be wasted. I want you to think about that and dwell on that. They are telling you these things in order to remain relevant, because otherwise they are irrelevant. They see you as easy prey to stroke their ego. Don't fall for it. Don't let them use you for their evil plan. Maintain your focus on your mission to earn a living and provide for your family. Practice your trade with dignity and to be no one's puppet. Pay attention to sound advice and suggestions from those who have your best interests in mind. The Kingston Board is concerned about your well-being. We want to put you in a good position so that you can get the most out of your business. We have had a brief discussion with the Center for Enterprise Development about collaborating in the future to find ways to help you out, to help you carry out your business more effectively and efficiently. We are not only concerned with ensuring that you pay the fee, we also want to assist you in growing your business. I know many of you are being misled by the loudmouths out there and cursing me everywhere, but I will not do the same. My issue is not with you cursing me and the government. My main concerns are that you are in a decent and respectable environment and that your sales are maximized. This is about you and the service you provide to the Vincentian public to ensure that you provide the best service possible to your customers. Now, as you occupy these facilities between now and November the 29th, I ask that you follow the regulations governing their use. You are to treat them as if they were built by your own sweat and blood. Do not mistreat them. These facilities would have a manager or supervisor stationed here, as well as someone on the floor supervising things, security personnel and cleaners to ensure that everything is in order and that you are following the rules and regulations. There would be no produce cleaning on the compound. The supervisor would be present to remind you of your responsibilities. Nothing should be stored in the aisles. Instead, use the lockers provided. Please keep in mind that everyone who sells produce will be in a facility by November the 28th, 2022. So street vending for vegetables, provisions, and other food products will be prohibited from Tuesday the 29th, 2022. There is no street vending for those who have been given space in the two new market and the central market. Persons on the streets with stalls and shops in the central market and other Kingston Board-owned shops and facilities are asked to begin preparation to return to their designated spaces. Any unwarranted structure must be removed by the end of the day on Monday, November the 28th, 2022. As a result, please comply. Let us do what is asked of you in a proper and decent manner, as I know you can and will. Do not allow anyone's boisterous and loud noises to cause you to resist the error of doing business. It will not benefit or profit you. We want everyone to be able to practice their craft, their trade. We do not want to expel or ban you from vending because you did not meet the deadlines. It does not augur well for you. We must live and let live. We cannot prevent businesses from being at a disadvantage. We can't make them be at a disadvantage. it is not right or proper. So I implore you not to follow suit and jeopardize your business future. I also want to remind everyone that starting from January, there will be a standard fee for all markets, including these three ones and the central market. Last but not least, I would like to request for the third time that all tenants of shops, lands, and stalls to pay their outstanding arrears to the Tongue Board. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Good day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clayton Borgin, the warden of the Kingston Board. And you know, sometimes I know individuals hear only what they want to, but I urge and encourage that you analyze what Mr. Borgin has just said, because he has spoken a lot about the quality of the facilities. He has spoken to the fact that this is about bringing order and decency and making sure that you're in a more convenient location. And those are the things that I want you to analyze within your mind, and not anything else that may create a negative vibe about what is being done here today. This government has your best interests at heart, absolutely. This is part of the government's execution of its policy in creating a modern, competitive, many-sided, post-colonial economy that is at once local, regional, and global. And it's not just about large businesses and multinational corporations investing, but it's also about the micro-entrepreneur, those vendors who invest their money, who invest their time into viable businesses that can grow and can expand. And this government is preparing and providing that support system for you to grow your business. To speak more to you about this is the architect of the master plan of the creation of that economy. Since 2001, since elected into government, Dr. Gonzalez has led the team of ministers who have worked together to build exactly what we are seeing now. What we are seeing now, the expansion in tourism, the expansion in small business, the order in Kingstown, haven't come as a result of chance. They've come as a result of a specific, deliberate policy by this Unity Labour Party government. And so, let me invite to address you this morning, the architect of this master plan, the 5-time elected Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonzalez.
Mr. Chairman, Cabinet colleagues, senior public servants, the vendors, specially invited guests. I want to recognize especially the members of the clergy, Clayton Borgin, the warden of the Tongue Board, and his staff, and the leadership of the Ministry of Urban Development, the Permanent Secretary, Shari, all of whom have been doing a fantastic job in helping to shape, to formulate, and execute the policy in relation to improving Kingstown as a city for all of us to live and work in, and for visitors to come and enjoy. I want to recognize the important contribution of Comrade Julian Francis, who is not here with us but who is recovering, and who was at the cabinet room yesterday when discussions were taking place on his ministry, including this particular issue. I'm sure he's listening, and he's getting stronger and stronger by the day. And with God's grace, we hope to see him back out in the not too distant future. Meanwhile, we rely on his advice and his wisdom, and we do work with him and for him. I want to begin by stating a few general propositions. First of all, I want to recognize that the vendors make an important contribution to the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that contribution is very much appreciated. I want also to emphasize that we recognize that the vendors have initiative, the vendors have creativity, and by engaging in vending, they find an important way within their own capacity to provide for themselves and their families. And I recognize all that as being very important. And we want to see vending done in an organized manner, in the best possible way for the vendors and for the community as a whole. Vendors are part of a society. We have to respect them, we have to appreciate them, but they must also recognize that the society does not belong to them alone. People have to walk the streets undisturbed. People have to operate businesses from their buildings. People have to drive their vehicles. And we have to keep the place tidy. One of the most shocking things to me, knowing that Vincentians are very clean and tidy people, was the reaction by some, including people from the opposition. I'm not talking politics today, I'm talking policy. That when the Tongue Board attempts to clean up the market, clean it inside, you have the opposition leader and other people from the opposition going there, issuing statements that we are not being sufficiently appreciative of the work of the vendors and we shouldn't be cleaning the market. I never hear anything like that since I born. All of the vendors, and I go to the homes of many of them, their homes are clean. Not only their homes are clean, you see Christmas coming on here. Even if the curtain ain't need changing, they change the curtain because they want a nice look for Christmas and the New Year. Those who don't have tile, they change the linoleum. Even sometime when they don't need to change the chair set, they take it, the old one back for OT and take a new one. Indeed. They clean the place, they clean their surroundings. So how could you want to clean your own house and don't keep clean the place where you work and earn a living? And I say this, I got a lot of telephone calls when the cleaning was going on. I called Clayton. Well, I knew what was happening before. I said, tell me, what we are doing, is it done with sensitivity and care for the property of the vendors? He assured me that all that was taking place. But I know when he and Johnny Jones, Archbishop Jones, were going around and others, it came to my attention, they say, all you go on, we go call the comrade, we'll come the comrade and he go sort this out. I'm advising you all, don't think you can sick me like a bad dog upon Clayton and Johnny. You can't sick me like a bad dog. I'm not a bad dog. I'm a reasonable human being. I love you. I care for you, but we have to do things properly in the interest of everybody, including yourself. So these are the things I want to begin with first. Secondly, I want to give you an idea as to the plan, how we are addressing this tongue. We are now spending, over the next 3 years, $650 million on a modern port down bottom tongue area. That is going to make a big difference to the city and to that area. You notice already, we move people from the beach and we build houses for them. 49 houses we built, costing $4.8 million. They had some structures worth $200, $300, $400, $500. And these houses I give them 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. I ain't asking for no money for them. We are giving you them free. You hear me? That village is in Lomans. Despite all what they were trying to demonize Ralph, the people see who on the side and who not on the side. We own, the government that is. You see when you pass the gas station, you see all the property going down there. You see those 2, 3 old buildings where some people occupying? They had mass ban in one of them and so on. Those properties are owned by the government. We bought them. The 13 families who are in them, I already had Minister Brewster, Dr. Brewster, the Minister of National Mobilization, he and his team, identify them by name. And I am going to build houses for them. I tell them find the land. I tell the ministry find the land. And we will provide the money and we will build houses for them. Because we are going to develop that area as we develop the bottom part of Kingston. I want you to hear me clear as what we're doing. The revolution we have in education. We're having a revolution in tongue, you know. We're having it. We're having it. And we are not going to be deterred by people who don't have this country interest at heart. When we finish down there, the land which is by the port, when we finish building the port, the land which is up here for the port, we have plenty land for us to develop this area. I want another cruise ship pier there, and I want beautiful shops along the way. And I'm hoping that the children or grandchildren of some of the vendors will get some of those business places to run, to improve themselves further. Because we have to build the generations, you know. And we're educating them to be able to go up market. And I tell you this, when up here is nice up, valuable as these shops are, these 99 shops which we're giving out here today, is then you're going to hear people running and saying, if I didn't know, I would have taken one of them up here. You hear me? Because you're going to get plenty traffic. Just be a bob. Be a bob. We have a plan. I'm telling you what it is about. And in the middle of the city, I already get 2.5 million US of the 5 million which is required to and knocking down Little Tokyo, and we building it up back better than ever before. But I tell everybody this. When I got 32 or 34 rum shops down a Little Tokyo, I ain't building it back to put them rum shop there. You hear what I'm telling you? I know some of them will cost me, but you know I don't mind cussing. They start cuss me from a long time, call me one term Papa. How many terms this Papa is now? And I'm coming for 6. We will meet one another in December 2025. No. The Little Tokyo, when we moving it, when we building it over, we have to put the bus stop at different place temporarily. So the area of Bedford Street, we're going to sort out that area as part of the Windward bus stop and up here so we will have them organized in 2 ways. That's the suggestion. And we're finalizing that. So you up here going to plenty traffic too, you know. You see these 99 shops? Just organize yourself properly. You got a lot of people coming to buy from you. And I'm giving you the idea of the overall plan. I have the money already. The government has the money. I negotiated it with Taiwan to build over the old courthouse building. And we're going to build a courthouse complex up by Richmond Hill, going up there, just above the library. We're building a temporary parliament out in Caliacua, and we'll build a parliament there next to the courthouse up Richmond Hill. I'm giving you the plan. You hear how we going?
Yes.
No. I know people are saying, and I listen to them. The people them say to me, the vendors say to me, but comrade, you're not fair. I say, how are you not fair? We're doing all of this thing. How it could be fair that you got lawyers and all kind of people going in the courthouse yard every morning, getting free parking for the whole day. And when parliamentarians going in there for meeting a parliament, you have a lawyer will go and tell a parliamentarian, you can't park there. It's lawyer so-and-so, that's his space. Lawyer so-and-so, his space? Well, I have notice for all of you. The only people who are going to be parked inside there are people who are working in the courthouse, not lawyers. Find your own parking space or shutting you out from there. You want fairness? I'm giving you fairness. And today, the registrar of the High Court is supposed to come before me, and I'm going to give her the instructions in relation to that, and we set a timetable. But I'm giving public notice.
Yes.
You see, they have disorder inside of the courthouse yard. It's a security issue. We have to fix that too. All of this thing must be done properly and orderly and fairly and with equity. No question about it. So I give you the broad framework. And by the way, not only that, you notice we have already rehabilitated the grammar school. We're doing the girls' high school. Next year we start in Thomas Sanders. We're knocking down the old part of Thomas Sanders and build it up back better than ever before. All of those things we're doing, I want to put what we are doing with the vendors in the context of the overall development of our city. That is the vision. Now, I want to talk about a few details. Over the next 10 to 14 days, a total of about 800 vendors, some of whom make their living daily, and others who sell on weekends and occasionally, will be removed from the streets of Kingston, and by the 29th of November 2022, all the streets will be cleared of informal street vending. The two newly built markets and the existing central market will be opened to hold all 389 registered vendors who sell daily so that they can continue to ply their trade. 389 registered vendors. 99 here are coming to those in the downtown market and also in the main market. Because remember, you have three set of vendors. The vendors who work 4 to 5 days, those are what I call the regular vendors. And then you have some who come on weekend, and some who come carnival time, some who come Christmas time, Independence time, and so forth. But the 389 registered vendors, we are going to make sure that there's space for all of them. Up here, down the market, the main market, and the new downtown market. Some of those vendors, though, who have outgrown the market and are operating what can only be deemed supermarket equivalents on the street, the Kingston Board will continue discussions with these persons to arrive at the best solution. There are some people who are completely unreasonable. How you could put on the street a mobile supermarket? By the way, some of them, some of the street vendors, they know what I'm talking about. Some of them is not their business, It's business of people who have shops and stores. They are runners. They're doing business on the street for the established business them. You all know who they are? And I know who they are. And Clayton know who they are. Sometime when I talk to some of the fellas with shops and stores, I say, but how y'all could do that? They say, well, comrade, if you can't beat them, you have to join them. Well, we have to put the thing in some proper order. Yes. You know them too? All right, Carmen. So those persons The tongue board will be talking with you and see what the best solution. We don't want to take bread from you, but we have to do it properly. We continue to work on finding a suitable alternative to accommodate the clothing vendors who are operating alongside Middle Street, along Middle Street. The terraces or the wings at the Central Market are being considered to put those persons. And until such time, registered persons will continue to operate on one side only in the area from the back of the police station to Edwin Delane and Sons building. You notice how we are being reasonable. We want to put you eventually fix up the wings of the main market. But until that is happening, we will, those who are registered, we will put you on one side only. You can't occupy both sides so that people can drive or walk. That cannot be reasonable. I want to welcome our brothers and sisters from overseas who are tourists here. Very happy to see you. My name is Ralph and I'm the Prime Minister. We're opening a market to take some of the persons. You're from where? Cleveland, Ohio. Where in England you live? In Derby. What football team you support? I'm a Man United man. I have to turn my back on you. God bless you. God bless. You're born here. Where you born? What is your family name? I know the family. I know the Tree family. Good family. Durham, Games, and Hathaway. So you have African blood in you. You got Portuguese blood in you, and you got Indian blood in you. I know how it go. I know the Tree family. I know the Tree family. I know the Tree family. No. So that's how we're dealing with those on Middle Street. Some vendors who are providing services such as selling coconut water, fruits, phone cards, newspapers, local snacks, people who make sugar cake and tamarind balls and fudge and so forth. They will be still placed at strategic locations throughout the town and will be permitted to sell only approved items. Additional spaces will also be set up at different locations within the town board as temporary flea markets to accommodate weekend vendors. These spaces will become available on a first-come, first-served basis. In all these cases, the Kingston Board will provide the necessary rules and regulations under which the persons would operate and will enforce strict monitoring measures. Now, when you now move from in front of PH Vera, you can't leave in front of PH Vera building and go in the street. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you will be moved. You can't block the street. The road make to walk on Carnival Day. And outside of Carnival Day, the road also make to walk and also make to drive. You can't put your structures in the road and expect people to drive around you. No, it cannot happen. We have to have order in order to develop our country. Now, I want to give you some ideas of the numbers and where the people who are coming up here. Those who were uptown, where are we talking uptown? Uptown means those from Hillsborough Street, Halifax Street, Granby Street, Whitechapel, Bonnady Street, Sharp Street, Upper Bay Street, James Street, and Upper Long Lane. From there, 99. The 99 persons who come in here, we're not telling you which, whether to take a middle shop or corner shop. You're going to draw lots. You're going to draw lots. The business of drawing lots is as old as the time of Moses. And the pastor could tell you about that better than me. So we go draw lots. Which number you pull is the number you get. You hear me? So nobody could say that Ralph give Mabel, this one is the best shop, the best counter, and Clayton, because he know Jennifer, mommy. None of them things happening. You're drawing lots. Now, up here, we have in 99. And then the downtown area. The downtown area, that's the old meat market and the vegetable market. We fix that up to you now. That will be taken in 182. That has 182 stalls. So 99 here and 182 down there. Putting people in good accommodation. And those will come from the following streets: Bedford Street, Higginson Street, Lower Bay Street, Melville Street, Mackay Street, Grenville Street, and Linley Street. These vendors, I don't believe they finish identify all for relocation. They finish? For downtown. All have been identified? Well, I'm told that all have been identified. So you're going to put them, you're going to do the same thing with them down there and let it draw lots. Fine, good. So we should be having 182 down there and 99 up here, meaning 281. That's a big number. That is breaking the back of the bulk of the vendors who are regular on the road. I'm not talking weekend vendors, and I'm not talking seasonal vendors. And to go over back, those with the supermarket on the road, we're talking to you how we can best deal with you. Those in Middle Street, one side only, from the back of the police station, come up to lanes. Others who come in weekend and seasonal, the town board is working out some areas where you can go to have a flea market on the basis of a first come, first served basis. I'm not saying the way we're doing it is going to be perfection. We can't make perfection the enemy of the good. But we have to do it properly. Just one thing. Down at Bedford Street, because the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines buy out First Caribbean, First International, First Caribbean Bank, they're going to move all their business operations between the current building for Bank of St. Vincent and the First Caribbean Bank building. So the government is going to buy from the bank down at Bedford Street, that building. And we are going to put the courthouse and the registry inside of there until we build over the courthouse in Kingston, until we build also the new courthouse building up by Richmond Hill. So that is the way we are proceeding. The registrar has gone there, the judges have gone there, they're satisfied with the thing. He got a strongman room to hold documents and so on and so forth. You notice the plan?
Yes.
I hear it said that why Ralph and the ULP government I spend so much money upon Kingston and fix it up and do all these things. And at the end, they pick all the seat them in tongue. You think I bad about who got seat from who not got seat? I am addressing the capital city Kingston, the cabinet, the government addressing capital city Kingston, and I have given you the outlines of the overall development plan. Everything in its own time. We do the banks, we do the airport, we do Rabaka Bridge, we do the education revolution, we're doing the hospital, the health revolution, the housing revolution. Now is the time for the tongue revolution. You hear me? And I'm very glad that you have bought into, as a country, the development vision of the ULP government. And you have stayed with us for 5 terms. And you see the plan what we have in finishing out this 5th term and the plans going into the 6th term. If you have a vision and you have the leadership and you're having everything in place, stay with what you know and what is bringing progress to your country. Thank you very much, and may Almighty God continue to bless all of us.